Welcome back. I know I've been a little late posting since NFA. I have been busy with crazy projects at one of my jobs. But here's how NFA went down. I was planning on just showing you this cool montage of stuff and whatnot and all these stories. Don't get me wrong, I still have some stories to tell. But I can see why people haven't made like a crazy montage. There was so much happening. So, first off, I've become very lost in time and I don't know how to read the calendar anymore. My goodness. So, getting there was just fine. I actually had a very nice flight. I had the aisle seat, extra leg room, and then there was like a seat in between, so I was able to just watch movies on my laptop, and then I used the tray next to me for snacking and stuff. It was nice. Had no problems getting there. Got to the hotel. The hotel was super nice. And I'm like, all right, I better figure out my schedule for the following day. They told me to download an app so you can like actually schedule things, say yes, no to things, see it in a better thing. I had printed out the thing. They also said a lot of people had like dropped out or wasn't able to do their presentations or whatever. So anyway, I'm looking at the things marked I wanted to do on my first day. And the biggest thing I wanted to do was flute and hip hop because my other half is very much into hip hop and rap, and I've been wanting to incorporate my flute playing with the things he's doing. I thought that would be super cool, but first of all, I don't improv. I haven't like figured out how to do it. So I'm very much have always been a here's sheet music, play it, great. But anyway, so I'm looking at it and I'm looking at the thing and I'm like, none of this stuff is matching up. And I'm like, what the heck is happening? I booked my flight for the wrong day and I missed the entire first day. And at the time, I was so devastated. I missed my flute and hip hop. Like, what is wrong with me? How did this happen? I missed the whole first day. So I was pretty upset about that, but whatever happened, that's out of the control bin, you know? And so it was the following day, then I went and you go in the convention center, which was huge, by the way. It was like multiple buildings and you just kind of follow the crowd. And then I found registration, got signed up, and then they gave a book. Even though the book was like outdated, I wanted it for safekeepings, and I didn't even bring it with me in my room. It's like this thick though, and that's what all the events are for the weekends. So you really are stating yes, no, this is what I want to do, this is not what I want to do, because there's so much happening at the same time and overlapping. So I did go to some improv stuff, by the way, but it was different kind of improv from what I was expecting. I was expecting more of, this is how you figure out what notes are good to play in this, and how to like blend in and do like jazz flute stuff, and all the stuff I had attended was like for contemporary flute. And so we were just working on just going with the flow and making weird, I guess they're weird in my opinion because they're not traditional, like popping noises and tongue ramping, which is something I didn't even know existed until I was there. That's when you like stick your tongue in the flute and it goes woo, boo, makes like this popping noise. I can't even replicate it. So it was like stuff like that, key clicks, and making like whispery noises. It was different, interesting by far. Wasn't what I had in mind, but it's all good. I attended a few things for breathing to be able to breathe better, because I know that's one of my weak areas, as it is most people's. Is 2 measures is comfortable. I like it, but it's not what you should be doing. And then we were learning. I went to some stuff about circular breathing because that is very intriguing. I went to 2 things about that. I bought the books for them. Speaking of the books, there was a person who wanted to get books signed, which I wanted to get things signed too. Sounded fun, but. So there was one class I took on circular breathing. I guess it was more of a lecture. And someone in the audience was like, hey, since your books are at the Flute Center of New York upstairs, why don't you just hold a book signing after this class or at 11 or whatever it was? And she was like, yeah, I'll do that. And so I'm like, oh, great, I want to do that too. And I was like, oh no, but a different circular breathing class is during the same time. I'm like, well, so it's like taking the workshop class of it or getting my book signed. So to me, actually taking the workshop is more beneficiary. I'm here to learn, you know, and if I get signed copies of books or whatever, that's just a bonus. And I'm really glad I went to the workshop because Robert Dick, I think was his name. I didn't even bring those books in here too. Anyway, his workshop was more insightful. It was like, you know, she had the information, he had more information. So I missed the book signing. And then I was just, you know, I was thinking, I was like, okay, I'll just buy the book later. And if I run into her, then I'll see her, you know. But by the time I got up there, the books were all sold out from her lecture. It was a full lecture. And then I kept seeing her around and I was like teasing me. It was like, you didn't get to sign. You could have if you got the book, but you didn't get the book. I had to order it and it had to be shipped. Both the books I wanted. I bought his book too. So that's going to take some time to learn, but at least I have the fundamentals and the confidence of knowing it's going to take a long time. One of the book states, you know, plan ahead to work on this for 2 years. Great. But all is good. But there was so many events. And then I saw there's this person who kind of seems to be a little bit more in my life. Not like a boyfriend type, but just like in the activities I'm doing. And I kind of think she might play a role in my career path of going to Musicians Edition and growing that. I'm not sure, but she was there. And so I made it a point to say hi to her. And the Musicians Edition had also hired a flute composer for one of our books. And I was able to meet up with her. So that was great too. Overall, it was a really great trip. There were so many events going on that you can't put everything into a montage. There's no possible way. But I met some cool people. I learned a lot. But more than anything, what I got out of the NFA was just personal growth. I have never really traveled by myself, aside from going home to visit my family in an area that I'm familiar with and, you know, are comfortable with. I've never gone somewhere new by myself. That had always really scared me. I had always been taught, you know, as a single woman traveling around, it's very dangerous, you'll get killed, you'll get mugged, all that kind of stuff, and I had believed it for a really long time. So this is actually the first trip I've taken by myself, and I felt very inspired, empowered, and there was just a lot of growth just within that. You know, it was an amazing trip. And so if you didn't make it this year, I hope you can start planning to go to next year's, because there's so much. It's very empowering, inspiring, lots of education, concerts, so much. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Yes, 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 yes. So save up the money now, and if you don't have money, there's scholarships and programs that they have that can possibly help you. Check into that too, or run a fundraiser. I run, well, I guess it's not me who runs the fundraisers. Musicians Edition runs fundraisers sometimes for things too. So there's always a way to run some form of a fundraiser too. When there's a will, there's a way. I wholeheartedly believe that. Or even reaching out. I saw people on the flute forum asking for help too, and I think they made was able to go because of that too. People are willing to help. You just have to ask. Anyway, I'm going off on a long tangent. Go to NFA next year if you can. August 1st through the 4th, San Antonio, Texas. I'm excited. My best friend lives there. Yes, NFA. All right. I'm going to stop talking to your guys' ears off and I'll talk to you later.